Okay, so in our previous lesson, JavaScript and forms, you learn how to extract value from a text box and also from a drop down. Okay, so now I'm using the same scenario, but I have changed the element in the form. Okay, I have maintained the text box because I still want to know how many participants. Okay. For the training, the drop down, I have actually changed it. Instead of using a drop down, I'm using a radio button. So you can see on the left side here, okay, I can zoom in for you. Instead of a drop down, I have radio buttons. Okay, so this is still the text box. All right. If you because this is only for numbers, we are only going to put in numbers, right? You can even put numbers here. You can even put the type as number, and then you can set your minimum and maximum. It doesn't matter. The way you extract the value is still the same. Okay, so let's do number. We just put number here as a type. So now, how do we extract the value? All right, how do we extract the value? The rest is still the same. The only difference that I made was here and also this part. Okay, so let's see the JavaScript portion. Okay, so let me scroll up a bit. It is slightly longer, okay, but basically it's the same thing. All right, if you notice that the lower part is still the same. Okay, checking the training code, okay, matching the training code against the cases is still the same. The formula is still the same. The printing is still the same. All right, but the how you extract the value from the form is slightly different. All right. Okay, let's see for the type number. Okay, we have changed, right? This is for type number, right? Okay, text and number is still the same. The way you extract the value is still the same. You can have the document dot the form name dot the element name dot value. That's it. It's the same. Okay. So whatever that the user key in, I will copy it here. Now for the radio button. Okay. For the radio button, it is slightly different because radio buttons, you have more than one choice, but you can only choose one. Okay, but you have more than one. So what we have to do is we have to check one by one. Did the user check on the first one? Or did the user check on the second one? Or did the user check on the last one? So you have to check one by one. Okay, now because the radio button names are the same, okay, training code, because the radio button name are the same. So what we do, the easiest way to do this is array. All right, use arrays. So what we do is, first thing, we take the length of the array, length of the radio button, meaning how many radio buttons we have in this particular group. So in order to do that, we can use this particular object. So this is the document form name, the radio button name, okay, and I want the length. I don't want the value. I want the length first. So I copy the amount here. Let's say this should give me 3, right? Because I have 3 radio buttons. So I take that number 3 and put it here. Okay, first task done. So now I need to check one by one which of that 3 that I have selected. So because it is an array, I have to use a loop. It doesn't matter what kind of loop you want to use as long as it is a loop. I'm using a for loop. Because it is an array, I start with 0. Okay, 0 up to lesser than 3. So that means what? I have 3 radio buttons. 0, This will be 0, this will be 1, this will be 2. So it should be lesser than len. Okay, lesser than 3. Alright. So now, inside the looping, I will check. Okay, I will check whether did the user select the first one. So, if document.trainingform.trainingcode X will first take 0, right? So, 0 means the first one. So, it will check whether did the user check the first one. If the user have checked the first one, that means they have selected the first radio button, I want the value. Now only you take the value out for the ones that you have checked. Remember, there's an array here. There's an array here also. Okay. If this one is selected, is checked, you take this radio button's value. Alright. If let's say the user did not check on the first one, okay, repeat the loop. So now X becomes 1. Check in your if statement. Did I check the first one? The first one meaning here is the second one. 0, 1. If the user have checked the first one, take the value out. Same thing, it will repeat for the second one. 0, 1, 2. Okay. Did the user check on it? If yes, take out the value. Okay. So, from here only, you get the training code. Then only you can take the training code and check it, match it against the cases that you have. So, for radio button, the step to identify the value is slightly longer because you have to check one by one. So there's extra lines of codes here. Alright, so you must be careful when you are checking radio button because there's more options for the user to choose from, not only one. Okay, so this is the code. The rest is the same. Once you get all the information, the rest is still the same. No changes at all. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, save this and then let's run this. Let's say there's 2 person going. Okay, you can see that I'm using number, right? Okay, you can see the arrow up and down. And let's say they are taking welding for beginners. Okay, get price. So this is what they should have. Alright, very simple, very straightforward, except a slightly lengthy code. That's it. Okay, so now let's do a bit of changes because we have been working with only one function so far. Alright, only one function so far. So what I want to do now is I want to create another function. Alright, I want to create another function. So what I do, this is one function. So below it, I'm going to create another one. Function display. Okay, display. And this is the function who's going to help me to display all my information. So I don't want my display to be in the first function. I don't want it to be overcrowded. Alright. So the first one will gather the information, do the processing. That's it. Function display will help me to display the item. Now, how to relate these two? One person have to call the other. Okay. So the first one, the first function is being called when I click the button. Okay, so when I click the button, this particular function is called. Alright. Now, who is going to call this function? Of course, the calculate function have to call the display function. Once all all the processing have been done. Put display. Okay. But I just cannot leave it empty because you need to pass the training name, the training cost, the participant quantity, and the total. Because it's two different forms. You have declared all the variables as local variables. So this particular variable only works in this function. It doesn't work in this function. So what I need to do is, whatever that I need here needs to be passed from the calculate function. So what I do, in the brackets, I need training name, right? So I put training name. What else do I need? Training cost. What else? Participant quantity. What else? We have total. So I need these four information so that the display function can help me to display it. So make sure you check the spelling properly. Okay, correct, 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 and correct. Alright. So once I call this function, I pass all the information, and the same information will be copied here. It cannot be empty here. It should have the parameters as well. Alright. So now if I save, I refresh, I put in 2, I put learn Mandarin, and get price. It works the same way. The only thing is, it has been separated. The duties has been separated. So it is more specialized. Alright. I think I forgot an N. Sorry for that. Okay. So, again, this is how you extract value from a normal number type text box and radio button. And this is how you declare your variables, your functions, and how you extract the value for your radio button.